My daughter was murdered. When I found out who it was, I took the law in my own hands. So I ended up serving 3 years for it.
My mom had breast cancer, and she phoned my brother. My brother phoned me saying my mom was dying. She was just on the couch, not even moving.
Step into a remarkable tale where the connection between a boss in disguise and an employee facing a terminal illness comes to surface.
Is battling a terminal illness.
Words cannot describe.
Calm and upbeat.
As their true identities are revealed, emotions run deep, and an undeniable bond forms, illuminating the incredible strength of compassion and the unyielding spirit within us all. Despite grappling with significant health issues, the employee consciously opts to lead a joyful and fulfilling life.
I have a lot of support. My family's there for me. We have 4 children.
The president of one of the nation's largest courier companies takes on the daring task of working undercover at FedEx Canada. We have the top dog of a major courier company going incognito at one of its biggest subsidiaries.
Today we're at our station in Scarborough, Ontario. Ontario accounts for over 60% of our volume, so I'm really looking forward to what I uncovered today.
During her undercover mission, she has an unexpected encounter with Mark, a dedicated FedEx employee with an impressive 23 years of experience in the courier service. Mark enthusiastically shares his love for his job, emphasizing how much fun it is for him. Having passionate employees like Mark is undoubtedly a tremendous asset to the company, as their dedication and enjoyment bring immense value to the organization.
Mark's got it all figured out, like he's got this thing running like a well-oiled machine.
Little did Lisa know that their day of package deliveries would unveil an astonishing truth about Mark. In the midst of their conversation, Mark drops a bombshell. Despite celebrating his 23rd work anniversary at FedEx just 3 days ago, he had actually returned to the company only last year. The reason? He had battled cancer for a couple of years, causing him to take a break. Lisa is left stunned, completely surprised by his unexpected revelation about Mark's life. She witnessed firsthand the incredible strength and resilience of a man who not only conquered cancer, but also found joy and satisfaction in his job. It's truly mind-blowing, and Lisa can't help but admire Mark's unwavering commitment and indomitable spirit.
And I still enjoy my job, and part of my going through the time with cancer also caused part of my loss of my teeth.
So Lisa was pretty surprised when she learned about all this. She mentioned that when she met him this morning, she never would have guessed he was going through a tough time because he seemed really happy. It just goes to show that sometimes people hide their struggles well. Anyway, he then starts talking about how things have been a bit easier for him because he's been getting a lot of support from his family.
You just seem so happy and
I have a lot of support. My family's there for me. We have 4 children. 3 girls.
It's great to hear that he has a strong support system in place. Family support can make a big difference when going through difficult times. Oh, and speaking of his family, he has quite a big one. He has 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. That's quite a handful, I must say. But wait, there's more. They even recently adopted a 3-month-old baby and became foster parents. That's amazing! It sounds like they have a lot of love to give and are making a positive impact in the lives of those children. Considering all this, Lisa naturally asks if he's doing okay now. It's a thoughtful question because sometimes, even with support, it's important to check in on someone's well-being.
how are you doing now? Are you
6 tumors in my spine, and I have 1 on my right hip.
Wow, that must have been an incredibly tough moment for Lisa to find out that this man was facing a terminal illness. It's understandable that such news would be overwhelming and emotional for her. In the midst of her emotions, Lisa gathers the courage to ask him how he manages to stay so calm and upbeat despite everything he's going through. It's a natural question to have, considering most people would find it challenging to maintain a positive outlook in such a difficult situation. However, as he opens up about his experience, Lisa's emotions get the best of her, and she breaks into tears. It's completely understandable that hearing about his situation, combined with the emotions of the moment, would bring tears to her eyes. It's a powerful reminder of the human connection we share and the empathy we feel when faced with difficult circumstances.
I am not normally a crier. I'm not. And for me to hear his journey, I just can relate to him on so many levels.
As they reach the main FedEx store, Mark expresses to Lisa that his colleagues there feel like a second family to him. It's a heartwarming sentiment, and Lisa listens attentively. However, little does Mark know that Lisa has a shocking revelation to share.
I can so relate to that. And it was almost an escape for me to come to work. How he feels that way about coming to work, and I've never met anyone like him in my entire life.
Later on, when she reveals her true identity, here's how that goes.
What I'd like to do for you, Mark, is when you're ready, we're going to pay for your employee portion of that, so it won't cost you a penny. Out of all the things, that you could said, you said, I'd like to take my wife on a cruise. So you know what, Mark? I'm going to send you and your beautiful family on a cruise. I want a hug.
I was gonna ask you if I may hug you this time.
You are a incredible person.
This was wholesome to watch. But this next employee story is so heartbreaking that we'd cry just speaking of her struggles.
My mom had breast cancer, and she phoned my brother. After my shift, I ran home instead of going directly to the concert.
So here we're introduced to Liberty Entertainment Group, a company that controls some of the hottest venues in Canada. It's pretty impressive how Nadia DiDonato and her husband, Nick, started this company 25 years ago. Now, Nadia is all set to change her appearance and dive into work.
Today I'm going to be working at the Liberty Grand with our pastry chefs. We make the pastries for all of our other restaurants.
So there's this awesome lady named Christine that we meet. And let me tell you, she is one hard-working individual. Get this, she churns out around 4,000 desserts in just a typical week. Can you believe it? We already know she's a force to be reckoned with even before we meet her.
Who's Christine?
Oh,
Hi, I'm Erica.
nice to meet you today in pastry. This is the pastry department. And so before we get started, I'm going to give you a uniform.
You know, Christine seems like such a sweet person. It's always a bonus to meet people who not only excel at their job, but also have a strong work ethic. She even mentions that it would be great to have some extra help because they have a ton of baking to do. They start making these delicious chocolate marquise, and Christine mentions that they need to make 150 of them. But it's better to overproduce than underproduce. Clearly, she knows what she's doing. In the midst of their work, Christine takes the time to assist Nadia with the eggs. She's really helpful and makes it easier to catch up on the work. She even shares a bit about her background, explaining how she started working in the kitchen and eventually ended up in the pastry department. Meanwhile, Nadia comments that Christine has probably cracked more eggs in one day than she has in the past 15 years. It's understandable that Nadia might take a bit longer to pick up the pace since she's the founder and might not be as experienced in that particular department. But as they continue, they start piping the cupcakes, and this is where things take an unexpected turn. They begin to form a connection, and it's something we definitely didn't see coming.
My mom hasn't gone back in like 35 years, and then she passed away. Oh my God, my guy, I'm gonna cry. She passed away in November.
When we first met Christine, she seemed incredibly cheerful and always ready to lend a hand. However, we soon discovered that she has faced her own fair share of challenges. In a heartfelt moment, she reveals that she and her sister are planning to take their mother's ashes back to their homeland. This revelation really hits home, and even Nadia begins to tear up. Christine explains that they intend to make the journey in January. She shares how unexpected her mother's passing was, and the emotions behind their decision become clearer. Now, we're left wondering what exactly happened and what led to their mother's untimely demise.
She didn't
Did your
even
mom pass away?
My mom had breast cancer, and she phoned my brother. My mom told me, I don't want you to miss your concert. She'll be fine. My brother phoned me saying my mom was dying. She was just on the couch.
Oh, that's truly heart-wrenching. It's understandable that Christine would carry a heavy burden of regret for not prioritizing being with her mother during her illness, only to later discover that she was nearing the end of her life. The weight of that realization must be incredibly difficult for her to bear.
Are you okay? Let's not talk about it. Just stop.
In a touching moment, Nadia is deeply moved by Christine's story, unable to continue working after hearing the heartbreaking details. Nadia urges Christine to put the cupcakes on hold. They both step outside, where Nadia embraces Christine tightly as she cries. It's a powerful and supportive gesture, demonstrating the empathy and compassion Nadia has for her colleague and the pain she is going through.
Fresh for Christine is just really so painful. My mom passed away.
Later on, Nadia gives Christine a call and decides to reveal her true identity. She commends Christine for her unwavering dedication to her work, especially considering the difficult time she's been through. Nadia expresses her appreciation for having such a rare gem of an employee like Christine.
And employees like you are really few and far between. I really do appreciate that.
In a thoughtful gesture, Nadia changes the faucet because she remembers how tough it was to handle it when she used to work as an employee herself.
That faucet was a bit of a nightmare. We would install an automatic faucet.
It's a small but significant act of empathy, showing that Nadia truly understands the challenges faced by her employees. But that's not all. On a personal level, Nadia opens up to Christine and shares her plan to send her and her 2 siblings to the Philippines in January to honor their mother.
I want to send you and your 2 siblings to the Philippines to honor your mom in January.
The emotional conversation brings tears to both their eyes as they discuss this meaningful gesture.
I'm sure she's really happy right now. Thanks so much.
In the end, everything works out for the better. This turn of events not only strengthens the bond between Nadia and Christine, but also brings some solace and closure to Christine's personal struggles. Well, let me tell you, not every worker out there has gone through epic battles with sickness, but they sure do face their fair share of ups and downs. Life throws all sorts of curveballs their way, but somehow they manage to push through and keep on living like champions.
A guy who's had that much bad luck in his life, I'm just thrilled that we have a restaurant that opened up that was able to employ him and put some money in his pocket so he doesn't have to live under the boardwalk.
Now get ready for some crazy action. Picture this. John Fuller, the big boss and head honcho of Johnny Rockets, one of the coolest retro-themed restaurant chains in the whole country, decides to do something totally out of the box. For the very first time in his entire career, he's going undercover, my friend. So he picks Atlantic City in New Jersey as his secret mission location. And guess what role he chooses? A food runner. Can you believe it? That's where he crosses paths with Tony. And things are about to get interesting.
Are you Tony? Yes, I am.
Tom Carter, how are you?
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. A uniform?
Yep.
Oh, my.
Tony is really stepping up and providing some solid guidance to his colleague. He's giving him pointers on how to handle the job effectively, and it seems like he knows what he's talking about. One key thing Tony emphasizes is the importance of ensuring customer satisfaction. He understands that when customers have a positive experience and leave happy, they're more likely to come back for more.
You want them leaving happy. They leave happy, they're going to come back and they're going to tell their friends. And then one thing here, we always serve our fries with a smile, okay?
That's the mark of a committed professional who truly understands the job. It's great to see someone who knows how to navigate and build relationships with customers. Tony definitely has that skill down pat.
Enjoy your meal. We'll check back shortly to make sure everything is okay. All right? Thank you.
Here you go. I'm going to get you some ketchup also. Oops, it's not the best artwork of all time.
Despite Tom's struggles with creating smiley faces using ketchup, Tony's enthusiasm shines through. He eagerly takes on tasks and shows a strong commitment to the job.
I was starting to break out into a sweat. I needed to pick up the speed, and you don't have a chance to catch your breath. And it's like a little mini workout we had going on in there.
Tony was really keeping Tom on his toes. He starts talking about his impressive career, mentioning that he was the boss man at IHOP for a whopping 9 years. And get this, he even had a gig at Denny's. That's some serious breakfast joint experience right there.
I was a manager at IHOP for 9 years, and I also worked at a Denny's.
But Tony's got a thing for his current gig. He likes how being a fast and hard-working hustler pays off. He's all about those tables moving, because that's where the real money is.
If you're a hustler and you can get these guys moving, you can turn tables over a lot quicker. I make more tips than I do than taking an order.
Really?
Yeah.
Tips, baby. They bring in way more cash than washing dishes ever could. But here comes the plot twist. Tom had no idea what was about to happen to him. After a crazy evening of serving grub and clearing tables, Tom suggests that they take a breather together. So they end up standing on this super nice boardwalk, right by the beach, under a sky that's turning all shades of late afternoon beauty. They go from talking about the weather to spilling their guts about their families and how they grew up. Talk about unexpected connections in the midst of a busy restaurant scene, right?
My daughter was murdered. When I found out who it was, I took the law in my own hands. By the time I came through, I was already going to jail. So I ended up serving 3 years for it.
The series of events took an unexpected turn. This man tragically lost his daughter and ended up physically attacking the person who caused her death, resulting in his imprisonment. Surprisingly, despite everything that happened, he honestly disclosed his background and eventually found this very job at the same place.
I lived under the boardwalk then for 3 months, and I kept coming here, and I kept seeing this sign, "Hey, Johnny Rockets is coming," and the guy gave me a job down here, man, and I owe him so much for taking me off the street. I don't know.
He expresses that working at that place has completely transformed his life. He sincerely hopes that everyone's children remain safe, showing his genuine concern for others. And so, our man on the mission takes the opportunity to call his own daughters and expresses how much he misses them.
Hey Breeze, how you doing? I was calling to say hi, let you know that I miss you tons.
Deeply moved by Tony's story. As the story unfolds and Tom reveals his true identity, he describes his encounter with Tony as something extraordinary. Overwhelmed by gratitude, Tom decides to treat Tony and his family to an amusement park of their choosing, a heartfelt gesture that embodies kindness.
What I want to do for you is send you on an all-expenses-paid trip to an amusement park of your choice so you can spend some quality time with your kids.
Thank you.
In addition, he announces that Johnny Rockets will make a charitable donation in honor of Tony's daughter.
There is a charity. Johnny Rockets is going to make a $5,000 donation, and so we're going to do that in Nikki's honor.
To further assist Tony in getting back on his feet, Tom offers him $5,000.
To help you get back on your feet is to give you $5,000.
Thank you. Nobody's ever done something like that for me.
Which brings Tony to tears as he realizes that nobody has ever done so much for him in such a short span of time. This really was something. But this next person has faced their own set of challenges, but is now here with a remarkable level of enthusiasm for work. Denny Slagle, the president and CEO of Mack Trucks, a renowned manufacturer of heavy-duty vehicles, decides to disguise himself and visit an engine assembly plant in Hagerstown. During his visit, he meets with Tracy, an engineer.
How you doing?
I'm Roger. How are you?
Good. Great, Tracy. We're gonna have a wonderful day.
Tracy was really helpful to him when he was working on the engine. She told him to start by scanning it and even shared her own way of doing things. You could tell she knew her stuff and was super dedicated to her job. Tracy explained all about the equipment and made sure to explain the safety precautions too. She mentioned that she handles 140 engines every day, which is pretty impressive. It seems like she knows how to motivate new workers as well.
I trust you.
All right.
You got it. I have faith in you. And then you want to tuck that side in.
All right.
Despite her guy making a few mistakes and struggling to keep up with the process, Tracy recognizes his frustration and advises him to relax. She understands that his errors are causing a delay in the work and wants to alleviate any unnecessary pressure he may be feeling.
You have got to calm down.
I know.
You're going to have an aneurysm.
No, I'm not.
Everybody can't do it. I love it. I don't want to have to worry about my job.
And here comes something surprising.
I had a heart attack in 2006.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I flatlined.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I worked in Mack Truck in Winsboro, South Carolina. So that's why this is a common thing for me to do the same thing all the time.
Wow, it's really surprising to hear that Tracy had a moment when her heart stopped. She shares that she's from South Carolina and really loves her hometown.
So you said you were from South Carolina? So you're from there?
Came up here to work. I had to come. I like home.
Tracy also brings up the importance of thinking about people because she's noticed many of them getting fired.
Makes you think about how cold people can be, just going from place to place firing people.
But hey, regardless of all that, she really did help Denny work better with the engines. Later on, Denny decides to tell Tracy who he really is, the big boss, the president and CEO of Mack Trucks.
As you know, the factory has a regular innovation award, and you're going to be the recipient for the next one.
Well, what we'd like to do is allow you to have a week's vacation wherever you want in South Carolina. And we're going to rent a house big enough for your entire family.
Oh, my.
And we'll make sure you're comfortable for us.
Thank you so much.
Tracy is overwhelmed with gratitude as she realizes how much her hard work and dedication have been recognized by Denny. The generous offer of a dream vacation for her and her family fills her with excitement and joy. It's a testament to the positive impact Denny's leadership has on his team, fostering a culture of appreciation and empathy. As Tracy plans her well-deserved getaway, she can't help but feel a renewed sense of motivation and loyalty towards the company. This experience serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of recognizing and supporting employees, creating a harmonious and productive work environment. So, who among these employees touched you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. See you in the next one, guys.